So what do you think?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a lot better than your old truck speakers.
That is crazy, huh?
Yeah, that's loud too.
What's going on, friends? In this video, I'm going to be installing this 8-inch Rockford Fosgate powered sub in my 2022 Tundra. Now, I can't find hardly any videos out there that show this, but it shouldn't be that hard. This is hopefully about 95% of what I'm going to use in this video. So I have the 8-inch powered sub. Now, I bought the 8-inch Rockford Fosgate powered sub because it does fit under my back seat. If you would want this to fit behind your seat, I think maybe, I can't say 100%, but I'm almost 95% sure, 99% sure that if you would get the kicker hideaway, even the 10-inch kicker hideaway sub, it's thinner, and I almost think that would fit behind your seat if you want to. But I figured I could put this under my seat, and some of the stuff I used to have under my seat, I'll just put it behind my seat. Because I think this is going to sound, this 8-inch is going to sound better than the 10-inch kicker hideaway. I already installed this plug-and-play Beatsonic amplifier. This is just to give all my factory speakers inside my truck just a little more power. Having this installed and having this 8-inch sub, I think my stereo system is going to sound 100 times better. So I have this, and all these parts came with this. This is has a little bass adjustment knob that I'm going to mount up front, and then this piece will plug into it. I'll go through all this in this video. It shouldn't be that hard. I do have a wiring diagram for the radio inside this truck. I think this is the same if you have the JBL speakers or the non-JBLs. This is a non-JBL stereo system in this Tundra. I don't have the JBLs, but I think the wiring diagram, I think it might be the same. If anybody out there knows if the wire colors are the same, let me know. I have some removal tools to help me remove some of the stuff, like removing my dash and some of the panels around my door. So I will have everything I have here down in my description. I bought a Rockford Fosgate amp installation kit, which came with this nice 8-gauge power wire, and I got some RCA cable with it and wire for my ground. And I did buy this high level to RCA wire here. This is what I'm going to wire up in the back of my factory deck. So this is going to get wired into there with using these tappets. That'll make things real simple. I just got some of this for my wire management. This is going to make it look a little prettier. This stuff is really, really nice. I might use some of this under my hood and in my storage where this is going to be. And this is just some fabric tape to kind of wrap some of this stuff up a little bit. Then I have a little bit of Velcro for this. Let me get into this install. Shouldn't be that hard. It's going to take me a little time, but not too hard. I'll also have that kicker hideaway down in my description if you want to check that out too. Along with all this stuff, I will put this in my first comment too. This is where I plan on putting my sub. There's a couple spots back here. This sub will easily fit in there. And if you want to measure, I'm not sure if you could go up to the 10-inch. They have a 10-inch Rockford Fosgate sub too. And I don't know, I almost feel like it would be really close to fitting in here. But you have to measure the box on that. It's a little bit different. It's not like square like this one. Like the bottom of the box is a little bigger than the top. And so that's why I went with this 8. But I really think this is where I should just put it right here like this. Then I can run my wires right down in here. And I still have room right here for some storage. And you can still shut, all the seats will still shut real easy. There's see, it just barely has room there. Fits perfect. That's where I think I'm going to put it. All right, I'm going to remove some of these pieces back behind my seat because some of my wires are going to be down in here. It shouldn't be too hard. You pop this top. This pops out. There, like that. That's about it, I think. Oh, I think the sides pop out. There, like that. All right, and then now it's loose. The only part I'm gonna show you. If you would take this out, yeah, down in here. If you look down in there, you'll see it when you look down there. It kind of catches, so that's what makes it a little difficult. But it's easy once you see that. It should come right out. Oh, there. See, mine come right out. The first time I did this, it caught down in there. So maybe yours will catch. So I'm going to take that out. Now this other one has two 10mm bolts. There's like one here, one way over here. So I'm going to take them out. And then we'll see how this pops out. Never had this one out. I'm going to put these right here in my cup holder. Hopefully I don't forget where they're at. Oh, there it pops out. I got one more bolt down here where your strap is. You got to take that bolt out. Seems like it wants to hang up right down here in that same corner, like I said over there. So just watch that. There we go, got it. Now, I got access to all that. Now, while I'm at it, you may do things different, but I'm just gonna pop off a couple more pieces, as I know I'm gonna want this off. Just want this cover off. Take this cover off, set that aside, because I'm going to run some wires in here. Ooh, there's a lot of room in there in my truck. I'm going to pop this off on my driver's side and my passenger side. That's up to you, but I plan on running my RCA cables down one side and my power wire down the other side. You shouldn't have your power wire with your RCA or your speaker wires. So I'm going to pop off all 4 of these. All right, now I got all that stuff tore up. I'm going to hook up my power wire under my hood. And I'll show you the nice little grommet that I can put this power wire through. I'm on the driver's side, and I'll show you the nice little grommet right back in here. Real simple. Right close to the outside of the truck. Right down in here. There's that little black, here, see I can point. That little black grommet right there. I'm going to pull that one out. And I can take my power wire right through there. It comes out real easy. See? There. See where I took it from now? And we just got to cut that out. And the power wire will go through there. Now, I just took that grommet and I took like a 3/16 inch drill bit. Drilled a hole through there. Then I took a 5/16 and tried to ream it out a little more. Now, it didn't come out to exactly 5/16. I'm sure I can work this power cable through here. A little bit of Pantene will help get that through there too. Just put a little soap on there. It doesn't have to be Pantene, but I already got it started. There we go. Once you get her in there, it's nice and tight. Now it pulls right through. Now I can push that in there. And that'll be all sealed up nice. Now the part with the fuse is going to go over here near your battery, but I'm not going to hook that up until I'm all done. When I do hook it up, I may unhook this negative first, and then hook it up, then hook the negative back up. Now where you pulled that grommet out, you're going to have to take a screwdriver and push a hole through there so you can break through that insulation. Pretty thick insulation. There we go. There. Now I should be able to push that wire through there. All right, I took a bigger screwdriver and I stuck through that hole too. Oh, there you go. Now I can really see in there better. I was having trouble getting it through there. When you get that screwdriver through that hole, go inside and see where it comes through. That way you'll know where to look. There we go. I'm going to put that grommet right back in. There we go. Now I can pull that through. Right here is my power wire. Some of this stuff would be easier if you had 2 people. But I'm going to pull some and then just go check to see how much I got left. I guess if you pull a little bit too much, you can always pull some back through. Just make sure that grommet stays in place. So I'm going to pull this through here, and I'm going to work it down through this corner, down under here. All right, I got my power wire run from my battery all the way to the back. And I just want to show you some stuff here. This is the driver's side where I took my power wire through. And this piece here, instead of trying to go up top here and fish it down through, just take that little piece off right there and you're able to push the wire down in here. There's a little, I can take it off here real quick. Just kind of twists off or pulls off. Then there's a little, like a little bolt coming through there. You can pick that up like that and put your power wire down through there. Actually just pushes back on. So, all right, so I got that. Come down through here. And same thing with this. Instead of trying to fish it through there, I mean, you can if you want, but it really easily just slips down in there. You just slip it down in there, and that puts it in that spot. And come around all the way to the back of the truck. Just continue to slip it down in behind there. See what I mean? Right there, it just slides down right in there, real easy. Come back. Here, I did push it up in there. I took the end of my wire and I kind of bent it up a little, so when I pushed it in through there, I could find it in the back. And then I ended up taking my sub and spinning it around because of where the battery is in this 2022 Tundra, and coming from the one side, there is a grommet behind that battery if you'd want to go through that grommet instead. But I think I want to take my speaker wires on the other side of my truck. So now I think I'm going to put it right back through here. These power wires, the ground wire, these RCAs, and the remote knob. Actually, I had these little dividers, and the sub kind of sits better there like that anyway, because there's like this spot here and this spot over here, but it's the same way back here, and the sub sits there real nice and straight. I'm going to put some of that Velcro down underneath of it right here so it won't move, and I think I'll be fine. I just have to be careful when I'm putting stuff in here that I don't hit that. I'll show you. Yeah, that power wire. The power wire is right down in here, and I have a lot of it now that I flip my sub around, because it looked like I was going to just barely have enough if I left it the other way. So I'm going to drill a hole through there. I have a 5/8 inch grommet, rubber grommet, so none of my wires will rub on this plastic. I'm going to drill a 7/8 inch hole through here for my 5/8 inch grommet, and I'm going to put right, let's see here, this kind of helps me figure out where I want to put it, I guess. I think I want to put it right about there. Ooh, there we go. Now, this should fit in there. All right, there we go. I got that grommet in place, so that should work. That'll keep so those wires don't rub on this plastic. All right, next step, I'm going to hook up this RCA plug so that's going to get hooked up to the back of my stereo into my speaker wires, and I will put here on the screen a little wire schematic type thing that will tell you what colors go to what speakers. And I'll also tell you here in the video once I fit. Mine's going to be a little different because I have that Beat Sonic plug and play amp back here. So I'm going to have to try to figure out what wires I got to go into. I want to put these. If you somehow have that in, you're going to have to put this before, or you're going to have to wire this up right directly out of the back of your head unit here or your radio. You don't want to wire this up after the plug and play amplifier, just in case you do have that. If you don't have that, this should probably be a little easier. So I'm going to use this with these little tappets. And I have a towel because my screen is going to be laying right here. So we've got to take this piece off first. Kind of get this with your hands. Just pull out on that, like that. Just try to pull out on the bottom and then grab it with your hand and pull out on it. Don't pull too hard because there is, if I need this tool, that tool worked good. I stuck it up in here and pried on it. And I got that, get that whole thing. I'm going to pull that out. Just be careful. Not really sure why, but there's this little white thing. When you get this pulled out a little bit, this little white thing, you have to push over and it comes out of this hole. We're just going to sit this right up here gently. Now you can almost leave that on because the only reason I'm taking that off is because this piece right here goes in behind it. To the left side of your deck, you just have this little piece here. This works really nice. You push it up here underneath, pry out, and that pops off real easy. So you take that little piece off. Now, there's a piece right here, real easy. I don't need to show you too much. I'll just tell you. So it's really simple. I take this tool and I push it in the front of it and pop up. Push it in the front, pop it up, and then it's pretty much out. And you just got to be careful. There is a 12-volt plug up inside here that's hooked to it. Pull that up out, twist it around like that. All right, let me show you right down inside here. There is two, I think they're 10mm nuts that we got to take out. And you're not going to be able to watch me take them out, so I'm just going to show you. Oh, right there. These here. There's one there, and on the other side, there's two. We got to take them two nuts out. Yeah, 10mm. Or I got all four. This is also kind of snapped in there. I'm going to take my hat off, hope I don't blind you. There we go. Just careful. There. This piece on the left side is still hooked in behind this. Be careful of that. I should have took the bottom out first or not. I forget. There we go. Got it. Now be careful because your screen is not really actually hooked into there. Probably could have took this cover off before I even pulled the screen out, maybe. I never tried it like that. There we go. There, got that. Now we're going to pull this out. I'm going to take this thing right off. Get that out of my way. I'm going to put this towel up here so it doesn't scratch. Now your wires are going to look a little different. All right, there. I will put this on the screen, but I have the wiring diagram. Now, I just want to show you when you're looking, if you can see that, when you're looking at this wiring diagram, at least here in the non-JBL system, these top four are all positive wires. I got my front right positive, front left positive, rear left positive, rear right positive. And then these last four on the bottom are front right negative, front left negative, rear left negative, and rear right negative. Now, these wires right here are the wires that are going to be plugged into right there. That's where your speaker wires are coming out of, unless you have this plug and play amp. My plug and play amp, you can't really see it. Oh, maybe you can see it. Can't. There, it's way back there in the back. It's that metal thing. Right all the way back there in the back, that's my plug and play amp. See, it looks like that metal thing. I have it stuck back in there with that green light on. That's why my wires look a little different right now. But these are going to be your wires. So those, if you're not putting that plug and play amp in, you're going to tap into these wires. So my plan is to tap into the rear speakers, which should be, if you look at this little schematic, on the schematic it's these bottom two of the top four and the bottom two of the bottom four. There's four up here, four down here. So it's these two. It's a purple and black wire. So you're going to tap into a purple black, purple red, purple orange, and a purple and white. And then we'll hook these wires into. All right, I have them all tapped. And I had to get my headlamp on because I couldn't see. Now you are going to want to tap. These are the wires you're going to want to tap into. You're going to want to tap into, there's a red and white, which is pretty much, this plug should be in your stereo like that. It's these, if you're looking at the stereo sitting in your passenger side, it's going to be those first two wires and the second two wires. White and red, and there's an orange and black. And then I did the same thing here, but I just picked where they were going into. Yeah, see, so if you have this plug and play amp, it's these two purple and then the two green. which is the same as on there. Then these posi taps, you're going to take these. First, you're going to tap into the wire. So you'll take this gray piece off, okay? And you'll take the wire you want to tap into, like if you no, you're not going to have these purple and green ones unless you have that same plug and play amp like I have. But you'll go over those purple wires. But you're going to take this, and I'm just going to show you, for example, on this yellow one. You're not tapping into this yellow one, but so you'll put this gray piece like over the wire you're going to want to tap into. And then see there's a little point on that. You're going to just screw that into there, you know, until it starts to feel like it's tight. Then that point's going to go into that wire. Okay, once you get that, like that, then, oh, I didn't do this part yet, so then you'll have your RCA wires. And you're going to put this gray piece over top of that, one of your little RCA wires. Stick that in there like that, and then start screwing that in. And that'll tighten that up. Nice and tight. And then when you're done, just pull on a little, make sure they're tight. It should all be in there nice and tight. Now, I have 2 gray wires and 2 white wires. If you have this same one gray wire has a black line on it, and one white wire has a white line on it. Now I used, it doesn't really matter, but I used the white lines as negatives. So I put the negative ones on, well, for me, one with the line on it, on the wires on the right side, and the one without the line on the left side. So see, my 2 gray ones are plugged into the 2 green ones. My 2 white ones are plugged into the 2 purple ones. But if you have it up here, you're going to be plugged into, let's say the 2 white ones, you will have them plugged into, the white one with the line will go into the purple and white. The solid white one is going to go into the purple and red. And then the gray and black will go into the purple and orange, and the solid gray will go into the purple and black. All right, now I'm going to take my RCAs and I'm going to run them from my sub up to here in my deck. All right, I have my RCA cables and that other little black wire that's going to be connected to my bass knob so I can adjust my bass from up front here. I just taped them 2 together right now. Let me show you. I had right in your glove compartment, I'm going to show you. Real simple, but I'll show you anyway. There's your cabin air filter. I just took that door, there's a little clip here, you push that over, pull that out, took that out. Because I think that's going to help me run my wires from up here down through here, and then down through here. And I'll probably find them back in here somewhere, and then I can just tuck them down in like I did over there. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple little tricks. Now, going through there definitely did work. I want to show you this so you don't break this. This little piece right here, I was able to get that out by, let me show you, I'll put it back up because it was really easy to get out once I figured it out. I had my removal tool, and there's little clips in there. You just pull that down a little bit. You just push on that, push that in, and that pops down like that. Push that in, and that pops down. See how that pushes in right there? That's how I got in there. And then I was able to fish them wires down through there and then tuck them up in under here like I did on the other side. I got them through here and I just tucked them in there again like I did the other side. I hope you guys ain't skipping my parts of my video because you're going to miss spots. Now on the back passenger side, I ran it through there. Now, to get it through here was a little tricky, but not too hard. I ended up taking just the RCA cables. Maybe you could keep them together, I don't know. But I got them through there. Now one thing I did, I had to get skinny, and I did unplug this white, I don't even know what it is, but I unplugged this just so I could stick my hand down in there, and I started, pretty much I took these ends and I started pushing them in there. And then when I looked down in there, I could see them, and I stuck my hands down in there and grabbed them. Now, if you do what I just did, I still want this wire there. So now I'm just gonna put some electrical tape, and I'm gonna tape that on there, and I'm gonna continue pulling that through. So that's how I'm gonna get that wire through. Or maybe you could fish this wire through and then tape the RCA cables onto it and start pulling that through. I'm just saying, it's probably easier to try to fish one wire through there. I tried tucking it down through there, but I couldn't really get it. And I didn't want to mess my wire up. All right, next little trick, that base wire, that real small thin wire. I had that up here by my deck. Well, I don't need it up here. I'm gonna mount mine. I guess you can mount it wherever you want. But I'm gonna mount that knob down probably underneath where my steering wheel's at. So I ended up taping it to this wire. And if you had like a coat hanger wire, it'd probably be better. I just found this in my garage. I taped it on here, and I went down where your feet are here, and I started pushing it through. Let me show you. All right, I started pushing it through right up in here. Oh, here it is, right here. But I took that wire and I started pushing it through in there, and my younger boy was on the other side just watching for that wire, and he found that wire. Or you could do it yourself and push the wire from that side over to here, and then tape this wire and pull it through. But that was the easiest way to get that through there. So now, hopefully that helps you. I think all I have left now is to hook up the ground, and we can try this out. All right, I pretty much have everything wired up, and I have to show you a few things of what I did. Some of the stuff was kind of hard to record, so I'll just walk you through the steps, and it should be pretty simple. All right, down here at my speaker, I did put the Velcro in. There's Velcro down under here, and I put Velcro on the front side. And it doesn't really matter, but I did put like the soft part of the Velcro on my truck and the rough part on this. That way, if I'd ever take this out and I couldn't get, because that stuff is really, really sticky. So you could just leave that soft part in there if you care. But that sucker don't move. All right, now I have all this hooked up. I have that wire protector stuff over it and through that grom. And then I put some of this fabric tape right here, taped up some of these. Everything's plugged in there except for this. Now the center one is for a remote wire. You don't need a remote wire for this Tundra. Or you don't need a remote wire really for this Rockford Fosgate. Just make sure that switch right here at the top is on audio. And if you're just wiring this up in your Tundra, just like I did, you're going to want this input level on high. And I'm not exactly sure about the phase yet, 0 or 180. It depends on how I wired my RCA cables up. So we'll see how that comes out. And I have all these dials. There's 3 little dials out there. One here is the bass boost, the crossover, and the gain. I have them all the way down right now. I have everything plugged in except for this. The red wire goes into the plus. If you look back here in the back, there's a plus there and a negative over here on this side. And then I tighten them up. That's all in there, okay? Let's put the seat down. I'm going to go back behind again, because don't forget you still have to ground this. This is my grounding wire that comes out of there. And that has to be grounded somewhere where there's no paint. Right down in there, I found a nice spot that already had no paint, so I didn't have to scrape any paint off, so I used that. That's pretty much as soon as you come in the truck, all the way down to the right. You look down in there, and if yours is painted, you're going to have to scrape all that paint off. Either scrape the paint off there, or up under here, there's another little spot. I was going to put it right there. You can see where I started scraping some paint off, and then I noticed that this other spot looked a lot easier. Yeah, you could have put it maybe right there if you want, but you can't do it on paint. Oh, I have all this hooked up, except for when I hooked all that up, I unhooked my negative wire. So that's unhooked right now. My positive wire is hooked up. I just have it hooked up right there, and I brought it out straight so I could kind of get this back on. It doesn't go on perfect, but it does go on there. I still want to wrap that wire and kind of hide that better. But now I can put this negative wire back on and tighten it up, just like that. It's still unhooked from my sub. Once I get this all tightened up, I will hook my sub back in. All right, let me tighten that nut up right there. This is the nut I loosened up to take that off. Let me tighten that back up. That's a 10 millimeter. Don't get all crazy on that. You don't want to strip them out. All right, that's all hooked up. Let me show you how you can test this. You should be able to test this if you have a multimeter. Now I put mine on 20 volts, right over here, that 220V. Now, I'm going to show you. Now if I put my black lead on the negative and my red one on the positive, should be like 12, yeah, usually, okay, it should be over 12 volts, 12.2, okay? So now that battery says 12.2. Let's go back to the sub, and I'm going to check inside these. This should be really close to the 12.2. Put the black in the black, and the red in the red. There we go, 12.2. That means I have a good ground. If that don't come out close to what your battery is, or exactly the same, you don't have a good ground. Now I'm going to plug this in. All right, it's plugged in good. That sounds way better.
Let's go.
I wish you could hear how it sounds. Holy crap.
There's not a man that I fear. There's nobody here that can stop me. 'Cause I'm in the league of my own. Y'all can just sit back and
I
watch
can't
me.
believe how that 8 hits that hard. All right, I'm going to finish messing with setting my gain, and then I'm going to put all this mess back together. Hopefully you'll know how to put this all back together. If I see any little tricks to put this back together, I'll let you know. All right, one other thing I did do with my RCA cables, let me show you back in here. I put some shrink wrap on them, so I know 100% they will not come unplugged. If you made it this far in the video, I really hope you hit that subscribe button to help support this channel and give this video a thumbs up. And leave me a comment down below if I gave you any tips or tricks that helped you out a lot. Or at least let me know where you live. Now I got to get the rest of this back together. All right, I finally got it all hooked back up. I guess I could give you one tip. Everything went in okay. One thing, you can put your radio in or your screen in and hook it down before you even put this on if you want. Not a big deal. But this right here is the only thing that didn't line up perfect. But once I got this in, I was able to kind of pull this back out and then put it back on again, and then I did get it. So you just have, that was the only part I had to kind of watch. Really everything else went in smooth. So now we're going to try one more time and we'll see what my 16-year-old boy thinks of this. And I'm going to play again my test music that I have that I won't get hit for copyright. Let me know what you think.
I might go lefty. I may push it, so don't test me.
Freaking hits, isn't it? But one little speaker.
I may push with it, so don't test me. You don't impress me. So don't test me. So don't test me. Don't test me.
That's about as loud as we can go. 50. Wait till the next song. This next song hits hard.
Yeah. Let's go.
Isn't that crazy?
Y'all can just sit back and watch me. They know who I am, they can't imitate. Stay in your lane, I'ma set it straight. Put it my way to the top.
One little 8. That's all. That's nuts.
That's cool.
So what do you think?
That's really cool. That's a lot better than your old truck speaker.
That is crazy, huh?
Yeah, that's loud too.
You like cannot tell probably on your speakers or on this little lav mic I got, but that like shakes my whole truck. One little tiny 8. That's crazy. All right,
Do
go.
you have a knob for it down there?
It's my bass knob, yeah. It's not even all the way up. It's like
That's not even all the way up.
Oh, no.
Your truck was shaking.
No,
so
but
much.
I kind of want it to sound like even, so you can hear the highs, the mids, the lows. You don't want to hear all bass, but I don't know. Go get your brother. I want to see what he thinks.
All right.
He's gonna love it. All right, sit up in here. We'll see what my 14-year-old thinks. Let me know what you think of my new stereo, because your face will tell me if it's really cool, because it doesn't do justice over these little speakers that people are listening to on their computer. All right, here we go.
You don't impress me, so don't test me. So don't test me. Don't test me. You don't impress me.
Wait till this next song. Here we go. Isn't that crazy? That's that one little speaker. Yeah. It like shakes my whole truck. Isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
All right, well, that's it. Hopefully that shows you that this came out really well. My kids think it's freaking awesome, and I kind of feel a little bit like I'm like 16, 17, 18 years old again. Back in the day when I was running in high school. I don't know if I'll listen to that loud because I'm about half deaf already, but give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button to help support my channel. God bless, and have a great day.